My Toyota Tundra, this '02 Tundra, has recently developed an issue where the gear shift lever on the steering column is completely limp and I can't get it in and out of any of the gears. The last gear that it was in was drive because I could feel it slipping and not being able to go into gear, and I was backing it up and then I pulled forward slowly in my driveway. And the idea was I was trying to diagnose the problem, but it seems as if the shift cord itself may have snapped, or possibly it has become disconnected from the transmission casing. I'm going to check that first, and then I'm going to check inside the console to see if maybe the cord has disconnected from the gear shift lever. So about 3 months ago, it had an issue where it was really hard to get it into park, and it was extremely loose, and I let that go for at least 6 months before I finally did fix it. And it was a cracked assembly casing for the gear shift mechanism, which that's an $80 part from Amazon, and I put it in. I believe I did a great job. However, we've had temperatures in the single digits recently here in Pennsylvania, and I do think that something may have snapped with the gear shift cord itself. So yesterday morning, somebody heard a pop coming from this Tundra, and so that's why I suspect it could be actually the cord itself. So I'm gonna start by looking underneath the vehicle here, and you gotta have yourself a mat if you're working outside. You want to stay somewhat clean, and just inspect it, see if I can see any visual exterior details about the gear shift cord, and see if it possibly came loose or something like that. For safety, one thing you're going to want to do is set this parking brake on. Make sure you got that on, because the last gear it was in was drive, and so there's no brake there with the transmission whatsoever. Then you're going to want to chock the wheels here, as I've done. I put 3 60-pound sandbags up front to block each wheel, because it's a slate downgrade right here, to make sure it's secure. It's absolutely essential until you get this fixed. So next, you're going to want to get underneath the vehicle and see what you can see here. So, to the best of my knowledge, this right here is the linkage where the cable actually attaches to the transmission right here. And so I'd be looking at right there to see if it, became unattached, and it's definitely attached there. So that part looks good. So the next part is to take out this lower console area down here, and the engine will not start with it in drive. However, it might make it easier to turn the wheel if I turn it into the accessories on position. So what I need to do, that makes a huge difference. Without that, you can't turn the wheel. So you make sure all your electrical stuff is off that you don't need. And I'm pulling some plugs now. And you just have to turn the wheel as far as you can. So got it in the left direction here. And I'll see if that will go up here a little bit. Yep. So I'm taking this screw out here on the left side. The screw and washer comes out pretty easily. So that's out. Then I want to turn the wheel to the right, the other way, until you can see the screw here. You'll see it right in there. And then we're gonna loosen that one. That one was in a little bit better. All right. Get that one out. And now there should be one that's down here at the bottom. Which now I don't think you need the electrical ignition on. There should be one down here. Alrighty. Alright. Yeah, I can see there's one here, there for taking out the whole bottom area. And when I did this last time, there is one screw that looks like it goes here at the bottom of the steering column right here. That is missing in mine, so I only had to take two out. And you either work with this, there you go, it just pops open. And so that bottom console is off. It only took two screws because I'm missing the bottom one in my vehicle. So now you need to get yourself some kind of a light and look in here. Here's my flashlight. See what we can see here so far. So I'm checking, the first thing I'm doing is I'm checking this right here. This is the gear cord and the bushing where it attaches there, and it looks fine. That's often something that'll destroy the gear shifting. So now my last thing to do is to look at the gear shift assembly unit, which I replaced about 3 months ago. And we'll see whether or not I need to replace it again. So after you take off the bottom console, then you're going to want to take off this top console. This plastic piece here. Okay. That just basically lifts up like that, and then you'll find that it's going to be attached to the gear shift. So you kind of have to just kind of pull it through here. Just push this through like that. For now, let's just get it out of the way. Now, so we're looking in here at this brand new gear shift assembly that I put in about 3 months ago. And everything looks good that I can tell. So if it were cracked, you could see it, and it's not. I do want to see that the screws are all tight, hold it in place. They look tight from here. Tight, and tight down in there. Everything looks really good here. So the only issue is that it won't shift because this shifting mechanism is extremely loose. And I do believe that unfortunately this vehicle is suffering from broken shifter cord. Alright, let's turn the accessories on here. So you can see, alright, okay, we got something loose here. I can see, let's see how that's moving here. Alright, I definitely see something loose right here in the gear shift area, and I think it has to do with the pin. So as I've been tinkering around with this, I can see that, so this is where the gear shift cord attaches right here with that bushing. It looks legitimate, looks good. However, the metal piece that it attaches to is loose here, and there is a bolt here that looks like I could definitely tighten it up here. However, to get to that, I'm going to have to take away the shroud on the where the ignition is so I can get to it. That's the only thing that's loose, and because it's loose, it could affect the shifting enough that it won't act the way it's supposed to act. So I will give that a shot. So what you need is a 10 millimeter bolt, ratchet and socket to get these taken out. Alright, so I'm working on my Toyota Tundra shift assembly unit here, and I've learned a lot. I've found out what the issue is, and it is, I just looked for what was loose, and the first thing I tried to tighten was the frame. It had nothing to do with it. You can, right there it is. There's the nut is here, which you can't, there you can see the tip of it. And there's a washer. You can control the tightness of how your vehicle shifts right here. And I've learned this just through trial and error. That could be an issue if you can't get your vehicle to shift. Now, I did install this brand new, it's very nice assembly, and I do not remember messing with this part at all. So I either neglected it, or I just, I never looked at it, and I drove my vehicle for a good 3 months and no issues, but it came loose. It came so loose that it wouldn't shift anymore. So it has something to do with the tightness of the shifting, and it's done by the tightness of that bolt. So you can just set it up the way you want. So I'm just going to fine detail this, get it shifting nice and smooth. I'm going to put everything back together, and I'll be able to drive my vehicle once more. So the one thing I wanted to add is that bolt in the back of the shifter assembly, the size that is turning, that's working for me, it's actually this one. It's 1330 seconds is what it says. It's 1330 seconds. That's the one that'll turn the bolt that's behind that rubber black washer that will let you adjust how tight the shifting mechanism works. And so I'm going to fine tune it now, get it where I like it, start my vehicle, and enjoy the rest of the day.